Hello, my name is Mandy Patinkin. Before I share with you my own feelings about Warren, I was asked by Stephen Sondheim to read this note that he wrote. Three firsts. The first time I saw Warren was when we were casting West Side Story. He was one of the two finalists for the role of Riff, the leader of the Jets. He could sing and he could act, and when he was on stage, you watched no one else. But Jerry Robbins wanted a dancer. And if there's one gift that Warren wasn't born with, it's the ability to move his feet to music. Although he's very musical, which brings me to the next first. The first time I actually met Warren was when I gave a party at my house, and one of my friends brought him. After nodding and smiling politely for a bit, he wandered quietly up to my studio on the second floor and spent the rest of the evening noodling on the piano and having, I think, a very good time. Warren knows what to do at a party and with a camera, which brings me to the first time I worked with him, which was on Reds. Let me just say that it was a pleasure and a privilege and a picture I'm proud to be connected with. I'll stop there because if I go any further, Mandy will get very emotional. Congratulations, my friend Warren. Before we get to watch some of the wonderful moments in Warren's career, I want to share a little bit of personal experience. I met Warren in 1978, just moments after I met my wife. Went for a dinner in a restaurant that I could never afford. He let me take his car home. I'd never been in a limousine other than to go to a funeral. And then, what was I going to say then? Yeah. So then over the years, I got to know Warren quite well as family. I always considered myself his little brother. We were very close, our families. And I always knew he wanted to play a role that he'd never been cast in, that he wanted more than anything. I knew it in between the lines. I knew it in his silences. I knew it in moments we shared privately. And then, as Barry said, he met Annette. And he was cast in the role of his life as her husband and the father of his glorious children. And that is the finest role you will ever know that Warren Beatty has played, plays currently, and will be playing forever at a theater near you. Briefly, my own experience with the Actors Fund was that I didn't need the Actors Fund because I was doing a Shakespeare play at the Public Theater called A Winter's Tale, the same year I spent trying to give birth to my music career, where Joe Papp said I could do my little music thing on Monday nights. I had 6 Monday nights. So the year went by and I couldn't pay the rent. I didn't know what to do, so I called my friend Warren and I said, who is my own personal Actors Fund, and I said, can I serve a drink in a movie of yours? Anything. I'll sweep the floor. And he gave me a part called 88 Keys, and Dick Tracy called Steve Sondheim, and they wrote me a song to sing. So who the hell needs the Actors Fund? I'll tell you who needs the Actors Fund. My beautiful, glorious wife, Catherine Grody, wanted me to share with you that she needed the Actors Fund. And they came to her rescue to pay the rent, and they paid her rent, and she paid it back. So God bless you for taking care of my wife. Please help me welcome our national treasure, Warren Beatty.
And that you never cease to amaze me. Thank you, Mandy. And thank you all. You know, I don't know that I deserve to be honored in this way because, you know, I really haven't done a play on Broadway since 1959. So it did run 3 weeks, so I assume that you all were there, yes? No? Okay. But I have been blessed as an actor to have known and had the counsel of so many august figures in theater, but I would not want to not acknowledge that there was no one more influential for me at the very beginning than Stella Adler. Without Stella at the start, I'd probably be speaking. Well, I probably wouldn't be invited to speak to you, but I would be speaking to you as a mildly disgruntled, long ago failed candidate for Lieutenant Governor of Virginia. But I chose to go into acting. You know, I love a story that Arthur Miller once told me a long time ago. He told me that he went back to Brooklyn. He hadn't been there for a long time, and he went back to Brooklyn, was walking the streets, and he was kind of emotional about it, seeing all the places where he had been in high school and everything. And he went on a long walk around and around and around, and then he saw a spectacular fruit stand on a corner, and he said, wow, that's beautiful. And he went over near it, and who was running the fruit stand but Sam, his high school classmate? And he was astonished, and he said, Sam. And then Sam turned around and said, Arthur, how are you? I haven't seen you in 100 years. He said, it's good to see you. And Arthur said, yeah, this is a beautiful, beautiful fruit stand. Sam says, yes, yeah. He says, I put the blueberries with the cranberries, and I have the melons are all together, and he said, well, that's really good. And he said, what are you doing, Arthur? And Arthur said, well, I write. He says, you write? He said, yeah, I write plays. He says, plays? Yeah. He says, I got a play right now called Death of a Salesman, and another one called The Crucible, and another one called All My Sons. They're all running at the same time, oddly enough. It's good. And Sam said, writing, huh? He says, I should have went into that. And I like that story because, I went into acting. And I do want to say that now in this era of dominance of the cell phone, the computer, the internet, and when nearly everybody becomes a kind of an actor in this technology, in order to popularize products or news or ideas or facts or themselves, we, as professional actors in theater and film and television, that work in plays and scripts and themes that are written, have to strive more than ever to find and shed light on the truth. So, acting. I'm glad I went into that. Thank you.